day we encounter people and have the opportunity to either glorify God or dishonor Him through our interactions.
The way we treat those around us is a huge part of how we radiate.
In Matthew 22, Jesus says that loving your neighbor is the second greatest commandment.
If Jesus values loving each other so highly, then why don't we?
Once we have the loving Jesus part down, loving every other person we come in contact with starts to come naturally.
Jesus' love for us is so amazing and extravagant, we can't help but let it overflow into our lives and interactions.
Jesus gave us a sick example of how we should treat others through his friendship with his disciples.
Jesus had 12 best buds.
These 12 men and Jesus were so close, they washed each other's nasty feet.
They witnessed Jesus heal the blind and deaf, love the unlovables, touch the untouchables, cast out demons, raise people from the dead, multiply food, and conquer death.
Through all their adventures, Jesus continually poured out his love and affection on his friends.
Even when they questioned, sassed, and betrayed him, Jesus never stopped loving them.
When Christ went up to heaven, he left them with a command to rock this world for him, and they did just that.
These 12 men, with the Spirit of God within them, completely set the world on fire for Jesus. Imagine what all of us could do with that love today.
When it comes to strangers, showing Jesus' love is more difficult.
We don't know their names or their stories. We'll probably never see them again, so why should it matter to us?
Every time we encounter another person, whether it be the lady at your nail salon, the barista at your favorite coffee shop, the cashier at Vaughn's, the person on the phone for customer service, the woman on the street begging for money, or even Beyonce, Jesus' love should flow out of us uncontrollably.
All of these people need Jesus too. They have lives, stories, names, and hardships just like we do. If we took the time to be kind and show Christ's love instead of being so concerned with ourselves, the spread of Christ's love would be exponential.
A simple act of kindness to a stranger can be a glimmer of light to someone who desperately needs it.
Radiating Christ through our interaction exceeds beyond our friends, loved ones, and even strangers. Loving our enemies is where things get spicy.
Matthew 5:43-44 says, "You have heard it said, to love your neighbors and hate your enemies. But I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you."
When the Good Samaritan came across the Jew who needed help, he ignored the status quo that said he should hate him and helped out his neighbor.
Philippians 2:3-4 says, "Let nothing be done through selfish ambition or conceit, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem others better than himself. Let each of you look out only not for his own interests, but also for the interests of others."
Loving our enemies can be one of the hardest things we will ever have to do, because our natural human response to poor treatment is to be defensive.
But Jesus wasn't about that life. He was all about defying what the world said was normal.
Love changes our view of people. If we love our enemies with Christ's love, there's no room for our own hatred.
What if you were the only Jesus a person will ever see? Are you willing to give up your selfish desires to love Jesus and love others like he loves them? Do you have what it takes?